All right, so what is the order of operations, folks? PEMDAS. You guys have all heard of that before, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, so I'm going to write that up here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But I'm going to put some arrows between the M and the D and the A and the S. Because once you get to multiplication and division, it's whichever one comes first. Either the multiplication or the division. Is everybody clear on that? And then once you get to adding and subtracting, it's whichever one comes first. Either the adding or the subtracting. Fair enough? Okay, so what would I do first here in number 1? You guys, you're going to need your calculators out and ready to go here. Okay, what would you do inside those parentheses first? 5 squared. Nope, we're going to do this 5 squared first. Everybody see that? What is 5 squared? 5 times 5, which is 25. What is 25 minus the 5? 20. So this now looks like this. What will I do next? Should I add next or should I divide next? We should divide next. What do you get when you divide? 10. And then what will my final answer be? How do we feel about that final answer of 16? Good? You sure? Okay, moving on. Let's go to number 2. This time you see the variable in there, right? You see the variable? What do they tell me that n equals? 1. So basically, I'm going to rewrite this thing, and I'm going to put a 1 where the n is, because that's what they're telling me that n equals. All right, order of operations, what will you do first? Squared? What's 4 squared? Try again. 16, right? What is 16 minus 10? 6. Now, do I subtract or do I add first? I'm actually going to subtract first here because the subtraction comes first. So what's 7 minus 6 plus 1? Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, next one. Again, you see an n in there, right? What am I going to put in for the n? -2 this time. It's okay, we switched it up on you. Now listen, loud and clear. I'm going to say this 47,000 times this year. Seriously, are you ready? You listening? That n is being squared, right? If you're going to square a negative number, it must go in parentheses. Everybody heard me loud and clear there, right? So that means when you put it into your calculator, it has to go in parentheses. Got it? All right, well, that's what we're going to do first. So what is -2 squared? You didn't put it in parentheses. Did you close the parentheses and then put the squared on the outside? That's what you need to do. It should go in your calculator just like this. So pick up your calculators. Parentheses, -2, parentheses, then squared. It should just be a 4. Is everybody okay with just getting a 4 there? -4 is not the correct answer. All right, what would I do next, guys? Parentheses, and you get? Wonderful. What will I do next? The multiplication has to come before the addition. 4 times 5 is? And then we add 6 for a final answer of 26. The first time you saw order of operations was in the 6th grade with Mr. Contact. Are we all right with this? Are you sure? Okay, let's fill in some notes here for today. Tell me, what's the difference between an expression and an equation? This one right here has no equal sign. What about an equation then? Has an equal sign. We're going to talk about something called an open sentence. An open sentence is an equation with a variable. Because folks, if there's a variable in it, we don't know what that variable is. Therefore, it's open. Does that make sense to everybody, that terminology? Okay. Remind me, what is the difference between being algebraic and numeric? Algebraic has variables, numerical has numbers. All right, so now to the good stuff for today. If I tell you that this 4 is a solution to this equation, what does that mean? And don't tell me it's the answer. Go ahead, Savannah. A equals 4, okay. It'll make the other side equal 9. If I put, like Savannah said, this A is 4. That's what that means. If I take this A and I put it into the equation, it would now look like this. Everybody agree there? You see how I substituted the A in? Yes or no? Now let's work it out. What is 4 times 4? Minus 7. Does 9 equal 9? Yes. If it's a solution, it will make the equation true. I'm going to say it one more time. Are you ready? If it's a solution, it will make the equation true. A-okay? So let's take that and let's apply it to our notes here today. Now, your directions say, determine the solution set to the equation. Basically, you're asking yourself, what works? You need to find a number so that when you plug it in, it works. Meaning it equals what it's supposed to. So, first thing I noticed, you guys see all 3 of those sets up there. One of the sets is X, one of the sets is Y, one of the sets is Z, correct? How do I know which one to use? The variable that's in the problem, that's the set that you're going to use. So, would anybody like to take a guess of what X I would put in there so that that thing would equal 5 and 1/16? Trevor? Let's try 1/4. How do I check it, guys? You're going to plug it in and solve it. So he says 1/4. So I'm going to put that 1/4 where the X is. Grab your calculators. Type it in. 1/4 squared plus 5. Does that get me what I want? 1/4 squared plus 5. What you got, Cody? Should be 5 and 1/16. You might have to make your calculator. So for yours, you have to turn that into an improper fraction. See that yellow marking right there? 5 and 1/16. 5 and 1/16 is what I want, right? Hello? So what's the solution here? What is X? 1/4 is what X is. When I plug in 1/4, it makes the equation true. Are you okay with your calculator, Gage, or no? You want me to look at it or not? Okay. Number 2. Now I have to choose things for Y. Somebody want to take a guess on what the solution for Y would be there? What number do I need to plug in for Y to make it equal what I want it to equal over there? Say it again. -4. You guys ready? Plug it in. You can literally type this thing in your calculator exactly how you see it, parentheses and everything. Put the squared on the outside of your parentheses. Does it work? So 4 is an answer. -4, excuse me. There's another one. What do you think, Savannah? You want to say 2? Let's check it. If I do this and I put that 2 in for Y, does it equal 9 like it's supposed to? Come on, guys, pick up your calculators and let's get active here. Does it equal 9? Yes, so that is also a solution. There was 2 of them that time. Okay. All right, one more. Very tricky with that division in there. What do you think I should put in for Z so that it equals 22? 3, he says. Let's see if 3 works. Do it in your calculator. 60 divided by 3 plus 2. What do I want it to equal? I want it to equal 22, does it? So what's the solution? Nope. 3 is my solution. How we doing there, folks? We doing okay on the front? Okay, let's flip it over to the back. Now, these are a little bit different because if you look, that variable, that a, is all by itself, isn't it? It's isolated. Did I give you any numbers to try? No. Since it's isolated, I can just work it out, and if I work out all of this over here, it's going to tell me what a is. Sound good? Okay, what are you going to do first? Whoops. Multiply, which gives you, what is 9 times 2? Okay, now subtract, and what do you get for a? Try again. 14. So, if I plug in 14, it will make a true equation. Everybody following? All right, what are you going to do first in number 2? What do you get there? Now, what are you going to do next? Exponent, what is 9 squared? That means 9 times 9, doesn't it, folks? 81. Finally, what is t? 27. So if I take the 27 and I put it up there where the t is, it will now be a true equation. I feel like we're rolling. Is everybody doing okay? Yeah? All right, moving over. I think this next one's a big old fraction, right? Okay. So if it's a big old fraction, do the numerator, do the denominator, then divide them, because that's what the fraction bar means to do. So what are you going to do first in the numerator? Which is? Okay, so I got a 54 in the numerator. What am I going to do in the denominator? What's up, Don? Yep. What is 8 plus 1? So that's a 9. Now what do I need to do? Not divide yet. Multiply. What is 9 times 3? So this is really 54 over 27. Now we'll divide and get 2. So if I take that 2 and I put it up there where the r is, it will make a true equation. All right, so now the w is not all by itself, is it? I'm just going to work everything out around it, and I'm going to see if I can figure out what it is. So what are you going to do first here? Exponent, what do you get? Okay. Now, all I have left in there is subtraction and addition, correct? So you're going to do it in the order in which you see it. What is 4 minus 4? Plus 5. So this is my new equation, folks. Can you tell me what w would have to be to make a true equation? We're multiplying here. Not 25. I just want you to look at it. This is multiplication, right? 5 times what would be 25? It would be 5. If I put a 5 up there where that w is, it would make it a true equation. Doing all right? Okay, I want to skip the next section and go down to the bottom section. This time, it says determine if the value for the variable is a solution. How do I figure out if a number is in fact the solution? Perfect. Use the number they give you to substitute and solve. What number did they give me? 2. So I'm going to take that 2 and I'm going to substitute it in, and I'm going to see, does it actually equal negative 5? He says no. He is correct. Not even close, right? Does everybody see what happened here? 6 plus 7 is 13. It is not negative 5. Okay? What number do they give me to try in the second one? A 2 again. Now, folks, you see both of those x's in there? That 2 has to go in for both of those x's. Follow your order of operations. What is 2 minus 1? What is 2 plus 5? What would you do next? Which gives you what? Does 7 minus 1 equal 0? No, so 2 is not a solution. Okay, last one in this section. What do they want me to try this time? Plug it in for the G, folks. What will you do first? It works, he says, because what did you do first? Divide and then subtract. And you got what? 12. Folks, it should equal 12, and if it does, yes, it is a solution. Okay, so all I got left is that middle row, right? What does it tell you to make in that middle row? You guys have been doing table of values for a long time. Table of values looks something like this. You've seen those before, right? XY table, T-chart. You see the replacement set over there? Do you see how it says replacement set? Replace means the same as substitute, doesn't it? So those are your x's that you're going to substitute in to find y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my x's over here. And then we're going to substitute them in and figure out what the y equals. Does everybody see where the y is? Do you see how the y is all by itself over there? Okay, so what's the first number I'm supposed to be plugging in here? -3. So folks, I'm going to leave the y equals off for a second, and I'm going to put 6.5 minus 0.5 times -3. I took out the x, I put in the -3. Now grab your calculator, type it all in, and then when you hit equals, it'll tell you what y is. 8, he says. So this answer is 8. Is everybody doing okay there? Yes? So what's the only thing that will change if I want to plug in -1? The x is going to change from -3 to -1, right? Everything else stays the same. But now I'm putting in a -1. So you're going to do the same calculations on your calculator, except for now you're multiplying by -1. 7, he says. How's everybody doing? Okay. Now what am I plugging in? 0. So 6.5 minus 0.5 times 0. Say that again, Savannah. I couldn't hear you. 6.5 for that one. You guys see how it's really doing the same thing over and over again, just with a different number? This time I'm going to plug in a 1. At this time, could we have all freshmen report to the auditorium? All freshmen. Teachers, you'll get them back in about 20 minutes. All right, folks, hold on one second. Here is your homework. Come on, guys, write it down, please. Remember that E is for even. Only the even ones in those sections. So you do not need to take your backpacks. Nope. You'll be coming right back.